Hello and welcome everyone to the Paranormal Nut Podcast. I am your host, Sean, aka Paranormal Nut, and this is our good friend Jim.
Hey guys,
How are you doing today, Jim?
doing good. Ready to see some content. I'm ready to see some
Oh,
scariness.
we got some content today. The news story is gonna piss you off. So we'll see how this pod goes with it's starting off at a bad note. So we'll jump into it here and get this rolling. I'm trying to rip the band-aid off fast, unfortunately. But so obviously, disclosures going on. About 2 episodes ago, I believe, we talked about the Congress getting access to the skiff. Well, that was now from our point of view 2 days ago. Uh, Pod doesn't line up with real time, unfortunately, but um, here are two Congress people. Um, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure both these Congress people were in the disclosure. I remember them, Luna and Meskowitz, I guess. Peoples. I don't know. If you're more political, you probably know who they are. So I'm going to put this live, and this is interviewers reporting, or reporters interviewing them shortly after coming out of the skiff.
Told in
Yeah, we were actually told that we don't have clearance to learn some certain things.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
again.
Is that in itself telling?
It could be. I don't want to read into it, but obviously, I think a lot of members were very frustrated.
You guys both look frustrated. You guys both seem
The
frustrated.
fact is that Congress should have oversight and the ability to look into and have access to these programs. And the fact is that we're being told that we don't have access to these programs, which defeats the purpose of what we're supposed to be doing.
But your colleagues do have access if they're on armed services or anything.
No.
Oh, really?
No members.
Well, they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us who. They wouldn't answer that.
And
And that's the extent they go on and talk about a bit more random stuff. But there was also another audio recording. I didn't port that in of another one of the congressmen essentially talking about how, they couldn't get anything, and it's very concerning. And the more concerning thing is they're straight up being told there is information they're not being told.
Well, it's like those people are supposed to be the top people. Like, how are you able to hide this from them? Like, the government's like, they are the government. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
we can't. You don't have
Apparently
high
not,
enough class. You're not classified.
Apparently, they aren't the government.
Yeah, your clearance
That's-
isn't good enough for this, even though they probably have a top secret. But
I mean, this is what we should be electing those people in that have the access to the material. That's how this democracy thing works, right?
that's what I thought. I thought this
Yeah,
was
that's-
America.
I thought this was America.
Well,
Where's the soundboard when you need it? That definitely that really puts a sour mood on this. I mean, woe is me to be hopeful for Congress actually getting something done.
I mean, us thinking the government's gonna actually do something for us, but nope.
No, this is why I thought the government had a chance, right? Because I truly believe they're all selfish people, and they're being told by other people that other people are more powerful than them. So I thought their egos and power trips would prevail here, because that's what got them there in the first place. And they'd be like, yeah, no, I'm the person who makes the call, and here's all the information because you couldn't tell me, you didn't want to tell people, and I do, kind of as a spite. So I was really banking on negative emotions winning there. Negative emotions definitely won, just not the right ones, I suppose.
Yep.
So
It's a letdown.
we'll end this paranormal news topic with a wah, wah, wah. Really, we need to invest in that soundboard. We were just talking about it too. Yes. So
Yo, frick the government. No, I'm just kidding.
to hopefully save this episode from complete and utter just
Failure.
downers. I have a fun topic today. It's very niche. Well, not really niche, but it's not necessarily a topic that's worldwide known. Um, a friend showed me this a while back. It's a TikTok account, and
You have more friends than me?
well, there are several personalities that reside in here. One of them showed me this.
Oh, God. You're off the meds again, aren't you?
Nah, man, we got it. Sponsored segment. So, the TikTok, the TikToker is known as Stay Golden Pony Boy, and
Like the name?
a great name, the best name out of TikToking I've ever seen. Also, I'm gonna plug our TikTok.
Not better than Paranormal Nut.
Yeah,
You know, TikTok. I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he does a lot better job than I would do. He'd be like, "We should try this." And I'm like, "That's stupid." And then he would just do it, and then it gets all the likes you guys see. And I'm just like, "No, yeah, that was a great idea. We both had." But going back to the topic, Stay Golden Pony Boy. For the most part, in its inception, was just this girl who was making a TikTok, doing all the latest trends, and she wasn't getting famous by any means, but it was slowly building up over time. And then eventually, in what are dates and months? 6/26. What's the 6th month of the year, Jim? Pop quiz.
Halfway through the year. I don't probably like.
It's June.
Yeah,
Say
June. I meant June. Sorry,
Yeah.
June.
June, July, August.
I'm not good with numbers.
Anyway, so June 26, 2022. Stay Golden Pony Boy posts she posted this TikTok. We're just gonna watch it. Let's make sure I post the correct one and not the second TikTok I have here. So this is gonna be this guy.
I've had a ghost attachment for the last 4 or 5 years, and I bought these dowsing rods recently to help with.
Oh well, it looks like it cut off for us in the beginning.
So I've had a
We'll
ghost
replay.
attachment for the last 4 or 5 years, and I bought these dowsing rods recently to help with communication, and my ghost is really responsive with them. So I thought we could ask him some questions because why not? It's fun. Chad, can you show everyone what a yes looks like, please? Thank you. Can you move it back? Can you show everyone what a no looks like? Yeah. Do you think it was a bad idea that I went out tonight and got drunk? Yeah. Do you think that I'm funny? Hello? That last question.
Get
Were you
burned,
joshing?
nerd.
Were you joking? Were you making... You fucking bitch. That wasn't a funny joke.
So
That ghost is fucking savage.
yeah. So okay. So she goes on, and this will be the next TikTok that directly follows this one. But this blows up her entire account. So from there, I didn't check the exact metrics, but it went up from a couple hundred views to hundreds of thousands at that point. So then she goes ahead and posts a little bit more information. And that's this TikTok here.
He's the homie. So glad that everyone loves Chad. He's the homie. So this is kind of how he came into my life. So I am an empath, and I can get into that in other videos if people are interested.
I do have, things about empaths I want to say. it feels like I know a few people who claim to be empaths, and they are always getting in enraveled or just involved with entities somehow, whether they like it or not. I'm not going to share those people's stories without their permission, so I won't. But yes, so that checks chart for me at least.
That was a perfect time to pause it too. Look at her eyes.
I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm sorry for freeze framing you on that horrible frame.
When you're an empath, you tend to attract things. When I was in college, me and my best friend and roommate moved in together into a really old brownstone apartment in Boston. 'Cause that's where we were going to school.
That was a horrible Boston accent. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
And we used to joke around and say, our ghost frat boy Chad, blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of a bit that we would do 24/7. And we did it for like months. I don't know how this works, because it's also not an exact science, because this like paranormal stuff is like super like unknown and whatever. But we like unknowingly opened a door and a space to be filled by something, because we were like manifesting it. So after a few months of like going along with the bit, you could say the bit went too far, and we started having activity happen in our apartment.
All right. So I don't want to directly rip off our content, but this is something I've been harping on for a while, at least amongst my people, anyone who will listen to me. People who tend to either be empathic or just believe that something's happening to them. I believe truly that half, if not more, that whether I don't know if it is an entity or not that's doing it, but I think it's because that person is letting it happen to them.
She had a void to fill, and Chad was there for her. If you catch my drift.
Anyway, we definitely just didn't cut back in. No. Anyway, yeah. So this comes out, and her whole channel's blowing up. It's a whole trend. She's calling it chatting. Chatting with Chad, chatting, and she does EVP interviews. She does flashlight responses and stuff. And I started doing a bit of diving into some of her videos. And at first I was like, oh, it's pretty suspicious that like your left hand isn't in the frame when these things are going off. But eventually there was a couple times when, oh yeah, it's TikTok. The frame's only this big. And I did see her hand in frame and focus while things were happening. So I truly believe that this person is having these things happen to them. And whether it's a spirit or a psycho manifestation or something along those lines, I couldn't tell you. I recommend checking out the channel, Stay Golden Pony Boy. You can search chatting with 2Ds or Chad the Ghost. It will definitely come up. Dive into it. It's very interesting. So Jim, you didn't get. I'm not trying to rip her TikTok off and take all of her content from her. But just off of your basic understanding, what do you think of Chad the Ghost?
I think bringing entities that aren't supposed to be on our plane isn't usually a good, fun thing to do because you don't know what you're bringing in. From my experience of like,
And yeah, so she definitely brings up that there were other things that were there were darker things that also had been manifested, and she didn't want to go into it. But essentially, Chad almost acted like a guardian for her in that situation, and now it's just Chad and her, against the world.
They just chilling now.
Yeah. So
I'm wondering when she's gonna, give him his royalties to the videos because he's in them. You see him moving.
Yeah. No. So this is what I'll do. I will go ahead and do a couple little things here for you. I couldn't upload this to the media deck because it's a bit long, but I can share it still. So she ends up getting this skeleton, and she buys it for her apartment, and that's now Chad. So this is great. I had to show this.
Where's her left hand?
That's what I was saying. But I did go through eventually. There was something with her left hand here. Well, you see her left hand was exposed for a second. Oh, this was I think it was this one. See, you clearly see her hands and that one. But that's as much as I'll show. But I definitely like the look of Chad. Backwards hat. Uh,
Literally, like the definition of a Chad. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well, she goes into it and says, Chad's not its real name, but he's kind of just taking that moniker because it's easier for her, and he never
He's
gonna
a bro.
guess his real name. Yeah, exactly. And he was a frat ghost down in like FU, Florida University, which is the most frat of frat schools.
The frattiest of the frats.
Yeah, Arizona State might have something to say about that. But anyway, so Chad the Ghost, everyone. I thought this was a bit more lighter-hearted topic, especially with all of us getting rejected on the skiff. Which
I like
really
that
sucks.
my emotions, they're like coming back up. I'm feeling
Yeah.
good.
So I try not to leave people on horrible negative emotions. I want people to feel happy after they watch our content. Now, as we do that, we are going to transfer into Paranormal Grab-bag, and the first thing I want to show you from Paranormal Grab-bag, and before we get there, quick plug: if you have a paranormal experience you'd like to share, video, evidence, audio clips, things of that nature, feel free to email us below at paranormalnut666@gmail.com. We take all the requests, we look at them. Jim tells me they're good. I laugh at him, say they're horrible, but then he puts them in anyway. It's a whole thing. But so we got a couple things here. I'll start off with the worst of it first. This is a single still frame, and this one might be an episode here in the near future. But this is a image. Well, I'll just show you the image, and then I'll tell you what it itself. Sound fair?
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
What do you think about that, Jim?
Feel like he's like exposing himself, and they like had to put the light over it so it's like ready for TV.
Right? The James, not James Gunn. I'm blanking. J.J. Abrams lens flare sensor. But yeah. So
It looks like dimension, like interdimensional being. There we go.
Those are words. Yeah.
Those are words.
Whether that's alien or interdimensional, it definitely looks like a being of some kind. Some people might say angel, some people might say demon, but this image is allegedly from let me pull it up to make sure. Peru. And if I could have my show, I said I wasn't
There's
going to.
Been a lot of alien stuff going on in Peru lately.
There has been, and that's a whole thing.
Like they caught that footage of almost like they said they look like the Green Goblin from like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, so okay, so I didn't want to get into this too much, but What's been happening in Peru, a village has essentially been getting attacked by entities or beings that they're calling the face peelers. And there's a lot of graphic stuff out there that I will not share on the podcast. Other
I'll
people
share it
are
on the
saying,
TikTok.
probably. Other people are saying, "Oh no, these are just like, scare tactics being used by people who are trying to steal the land and whatnot."
It was like miners,
mining.
illegal
Yep.
miners. Yeah,
But miners is in swinging a pickaxe, not as in 17 and below.
got to make
Just
the
to
differential
clarify.
there. Just to clarify, this is not Epstein Island.
Yeah, and so, and they've been getting attacked. They've been doing night patrols, and they've been asking for government and military assistance. They haven't been getting it, so they kind of, as a community, came together to start protecting themselves. And during one of their night raids, they ran into that. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those hard images to prove. This thing, as soon as it hit the internet, it hit every part of the internet. It's hard to track down the official source. So I don't know if it's. It almost looks too good and too alien-like to be actually real. It looks almost like perfectly like what you would think of an alien or interdimensional being. Or if it is, actual illegal miners, maybe they put this shit out to make it look, to scare tactics, right?
Yeah.
Oh, don't come into the forest. There's aliens that will peel your face off.
Ooh, we're just stealing diamonds.
Yes, but regardless of what's going on there, it's a tragedy. And whether it's supernatural, paranormal, or, just horrible people, I hope whatever happens there gets solved fast. Moving on, right? Light stuff, Jim. Light stuff.
Light stuff.
Yeah. So from there, we will move into our next paranormal grab bag, and I believe this one's an interesting one. So I couldn't find the original images. So this is from somebody's TikTok, and they kind of go into the explanation about it. So I'll let them explain it. Or hold on. Or not, and our media player will be dead. I think I just have to let it buffer here. Nope, nothing. All right, we're gonna skip that one for now, and we're gonna move on to this one. Oh, we might be. All right, what we're gonna do is gonna share it like we did the other stuff. Luckily, we have backups now, so we don't have these technical difficulties anymore. So we'll go back to the original one. And share screen. Ready?
Let's talk about one of the creepiest videos out on the internet right now, the Ghost Ambulance of Monterrey. This story gets crazy, so bear with me. In the month of March 2017, Mexican news outlets started to freak out about this video, which the video took place in Colonia
Monterrey,
Industrias del
Mexico?
Vidrio en la ciudad de San Nicolás de los Garza, Nuevo...
But in... what'd she say?
She said Monterey.
The Municipal of St. Nicholas. I don't know if that's Monterey.
But she said, if you go back, she's like,
crazy,
so bear with me.
In the month of March 2017, Mexican
see if
news
it
outlets
keeps
started
going.
to
Let's
freak
just
out
follow
about this
it through.
video, which the video took place in Colonia Industrias del Vidrio en la ciudad de San Nicolás de los Garza,
She doesn't
Nuevo
say Monterey
León.
at all now.
Maybe in the beginning, all the way.
I know it's an extremely long name, but it's important to know the location. Because on that area, there's a specific road where if you tune to this specific radio station and you pass this cross, the following will happen. I'm just going to show you the video.
Está en la
Nice.
690. Se supone, se dice que cuando llegas para allá, donde está la cruz, más o menos por donde va la camioneta aquella, se distorsiona este pedo y empieza a sonar una ambulancia. No se sabe si es verdad, pero bueno, se dice. Vamos a pasar por ahí pues, a ver qué pedo. Ahora sí, dale.
This is the.
La
I think
estación
we've
no se
had
ha
more
cambiado,
Spanish
la
on here
misma
than any
estación.
other language.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ahí vamos. Por allá está la cruz. Dale lento, más lento, más lento.
I was gonna say, if it's in Monterey, I'll go check that spot out because I'll be there next year for a job.
¿Dónde está la cruz? Dale, dale.
Now, after this video was posted, a bunch of other people tried to test it out themselves and had the same exact results. That road became so famous that Univision, one of the biggest Mexican news outlets, went to go investigate. And what ended up happening literally gave me chills. I'm just
He's
gonna show you
actually
the video.
better
Here
than
it
this
is.
than we are, clearly.
Ante
She's
nuestra
bringing all
sorpresa
that
en ese
content
preciso
out.
momento,
That
se
technical
escuchó una voz que
difficulties.
parece decir la frase
Right?
"deja la cámara".
Que se ha jugado bien el partido. Medio tiempo.
I mean, I'm pretty good at it.
No, para nada. De hecho, creo
Just
que los
saying.
argentinos se metieron atrás después del gol. Sí, pero es un momento en que estaba. Puedes decir lo que quieras, ya sabes que.
Now, an ambulance sound I can take, but somebody directly talking through that radio station, is in an extreme paranormal case, or someone hacking into that radio station and doing that. But what do you guys think? I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on this because I literally can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. What do you think?
Yeah, well, an ambulance noise on a radio frequency next to a specific area. I can
could just-
figure this out.
It looked like they were next to a tower, like a radio tower.
Well, any one of those rooms, you get close enough, you can put a FM transmitter, AM for whatever, and then you could just pick whatever radio station you want and kind of broadcast whatever you want. And yeah, that's I used to have an old car before Bluetooth was a thing.
Ghost
I'd have
car.
Ghost car had an FM transmitter, and you hook up your transmitter to your, MP3 or whatever, so you can listen to your
Yeah.
MP3. Yeah. So that's just this, and then someone can live broadcast if they're seeing someone like drive up in a camera, and be like, leave the camera, or whatever, however you say it in Spanish. So I don't think there's much going on there. Fun, interesting. It seems like someone's trying to create a myth or a legend. That's always fun, but also
Yeah, it's fun. Good. Let them do it. Let them have fun. Make a story.
But afterwards, come out after like a few weeks and be like, that was me. Gotcha, guys. But then people will forget about that 20 years down the line. Someone's be like, oh, this was that place. That's how all these things happen.
This is that place.
And for our last paranormal clip, we got a fun one. It's always fun to get Bigfoot evidence. This is from, back in like Independence Day, June time frame. So
Good time.
Great, best time.
Best time. I love Bigfoot.
Yep.
What's more patriotic than this video right now?
Nothing. There's a guy hanging out by the bushes, creeping along. Notice how like super quiet he is. No heavy breathing.
He's an athlete.
It's not bad. Adrenaline rush. If you were really scared, you would probably be freaking out a little. Camera's pretty stable. You no crazy breathing.
Bigfoot eating?
No. It seems to be carrying a kid.
Oh. Bigfoot Jr. Littlefoot. It's like from The Land Before Time.
Yep. So this kind of is just zoom up close in of the same stuff.
Everybody cares where he is, but not how he is.
All right. There's nothing about this that says this isn't a person in a Bigfoot costume, you know?
Yeah, the frames aren't like clear enough for you to really tell.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna
I
be
was a
honest with you,
little
Sean.
kid.
That's me.
That's you back in '84. Is this the infamous '84 footage?
76, actually.
76. What happened in '80? I don't want to know.
Nobody wants to
Yeah.
know what happened in
So
'84.
I think what we have here is some guy in a Bigfoot costume. They hide their Bigfoot child, which is probably some form of doll, behind a rock. And I just don't think there's anything of substance there. What do you
Yeah,
think,
but
Jim?
it's I mean, it's 2023. People, we got to have clear cameras these days.
Yeah, you gotta. And if it's Bigfoot, make him do Bigfoot things.
Yeah, follow
Anyone
them
can. You
around.
can get a hyper realistic Bigfoot costume for cheap these days.
That's
Not
true.
back in the day, in the old Bigfoot. You know, what's the where he's
That's
crossing the
OG.
street.
That's OG Bigfoot right there. Back
Yeah.
in like '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, well, I'm sure when we do Bigfoot, we'll have a list of like 100 videos we'll just go through. But yeah, and I think on that note, with a very unconvincing Bigfoot, we'll wrap up the show. Jim, any final words for our wonderful fans?
Never ask about 1986.
Your keeps changing. Well, thank you all for joining. We love having you here. This is a fun show. Me and Jim love doing this. Every aspect, the filming, the editing, the highlights, the clips. And we can't do it without you watching. Thank you so much. And
Love you guys.
stay tuned. Stay crazy.